Hey guys, it's Shane here again, and in this video I want to go through some of the old tanks, the legendary ones, that you cannot field anymore, competitive or, match play. So some of these go back really far, like 4th edition, so there haven't been updated rules in a long time, and some of the other ones are as recent as the last edition. We'll go through and break down and see which ones you should still be able to bring, just for fun, and see which ones should maybe be left out completely and forgotten. Alright, so let's start off with the Razorback. Now, the Razorback has a pretty good weapon option now. It's got a few different types. But before, of course, you had even more, and this was as early as last edition. You could still bring these. I used to bring the Twin Heavy Flamer quite a bit, which was fun, but it really did much. You had to get the Razorback close up, and in previous editions, when if you moved, you couldn't fire the flamer weapon, it got a bit, I was just doing it because I thought it looked cool. So the Twin Heavy Flamer, it might be alright, but yeah, you're bringing stuff in danger close, it's not going to last long. The other one that was really old was the Infernium pattern, which had a multi-melter on it. Now, honestly, I think that should definitely come back, because that's got good range, anti-armor sort of build. Yeah, I don't know why they got rid of it, honestly. It's a pretty good build. And lastly, the weirdest one, the lascannon with twin plasma gun. It's such a weird choice. It's hard to see, is this supposed to be anti-infantry or anti-armor? I mean, it is anti-armor on both fronts, but why go for low damage with one and high for the other when you can't split fire? It's just, yeah, I think that one definitely needs to be forgotten. And a recent one, though, was the Vormer pattern. I think I said that right. The twin side cannon for the Grey Knights. Feels so wrong for it to be legends. Yeah, I would definitely recommend people still take them. It's part of the Grey Knights' whole theme, the side cannons. Alright, so now we're looking at the Terminus Ultra. Yeah, from the start, this guy, if you've seen the meme about the Primaris tanks where they're just adding on loads and loads of weapons, it just looks like that. It's a straight up a meme Land Raider when just how many las cannons can we put on it? Yeah, it's tactics wise, it's not smart to have put all your eggs in one basket. Have a big walking las cannon battery. It just, I can't see it looking good. I don't know who thinks this looks good. It looks out of place. Definitely something we need to figure out. All right, so this is a really old one. This is the Damocles Command Rhino. So this was a HQ slot. It just did full support. Had no real weapons options aside from the Stormbolter. But it could do the orbital strike, and the orbital strike rule was really awesome because it would just stay on the board. Had a lot of fun rules that work with. This guy helped with reserves. Was a teleport beacon. I think definitely something like this should be fielded. Like they should. Yeah, I would really like to see something like this being used and updated because it really was a good idea. Now, the Rhino Primaris was a similar version to that. It was like a modern update to the Damocles. It had a lot of differences though. You could still use it as a transport. It had the twin plasma, so it could still do some damage. It had basically sort of the same what it supported. It sort of worked as a captain. I mean, it's not really as interesting as the Damocles. I felt that really has a lot of personality to it. The model still really looks really good though, so I would still say, sure, if you figure out how to put it in an army, do it. And of course, you had the Land Raider Excelsior, the big brother to it. So you definitely meant to field these two guys together. They buff each other really well. And it was really fun at the time when I remember when these came out. I saw a few people field them at tournaments. And they went pretty good. This guy's got a good invuln save. I love the model. I think it looks really cool. It's got some fun weapon options you don't normally see. I don't see it really being as powerful as it used to be. But yeah, I think they're really cool. Alright, so the Whirlwind Hyperius. This is one of those things that has been made completely redundant. Anti-air, especially in this new edition, because you're only getting the neg 1 to hit. So pretty much almost any other tank can be an anti-air. Like, it's not that hard to shoot the air things anymore. So you don't really need it. Yeah, it doesn't really have any hitting power aside from doing that. Like a normal whirlwind is going to do the job just as well. And if you did want an anti-flyer tank, you've got the Stalker or the Hunter tank, which do such a better job. So the Whirlwind Hyperius, like, it filled the gap for a while, but then better things came along, so you really don't need to think about this guy anymore. The Deimos Predator. This is, of course, your Heresy sort of era looking Predator. This is really good. It's got a lot more weapon options. It's got the Flamer, it's got the Conversion Beamer, the Plasma, the big Melter Gun. That's really cool. So it's basically, you take a Predator and you give it a lot more weapon options. So there's no real downside to the Deimos Predator. Like, for whatever your other Predators could do, this just has more options. I would definitely recommend fielding this just in normal 40k matches, using the new Horus Heresy models. I mean, why not? So then we got the Land Raider Helios. Same thing with the Hyperius Whirlwind. The Helios launcher is useless pretty much. It just looks bad. Like, it just looks out of place, the way it just sits there. It's just, no, I can't get behind it. Alright, so next we got the Land Raider Prometheus. Now, this guy was really good. People were using it as early as last edition before it became Legends. Yeah, real dark horse sort of Land Raider. People didn't expect it. You could do so much output with all those heavy bolters. It was great. Of course, the old rules had it so it ignored cover. I think in the Legends rules it doesn't have that, but I would argue that it should still have that that ability. But yeah, it's just anti-tank, anti-infantry, anti-everything now with heavy bolter rules. Still, as it is, yeah, you should take this on the table if you're going to feel it's definitely worth it. Alright, and one thing you might not have heard of was the Land Raider Ares. This was in an old Apocalypse Imperial Armor book, as far as I can tell. It's hard to get actual credible records of it. I've been able to really find it. It's an interesting one, having just a weapon. Like, this is a proper tank Land Raider. It doesn't have any transportability, just has the siege cannon replacing that, then the heavy flamers and the assault cannon. Yeah, it's hard seeing a Land Raider with a dozer blade, though. It feels kind of like a hat on a hat. Like, it was already built so it could get through everything. It didn't really need a siege shield to sort of push things away. It already could do that, so it's kind of odd. It also feels like it's trying to do too much. Like, it's trying to be, yeah, you put the flamer weapons, the assault cannon weapons, the big demolisher cannon weapon. It's a very busy model. So I just can't really see it sort of, existing anymore. I think, I'm sure it suited at the time. It's an interesting design, but I don't think it fits anymore. Last one, just as a special mention, because, of course, there only is one for the Sisters of Battle, and that's the Repressor. This is still the best vehicle they have. Before 9th, when you would just index Sisters, this guy carried the entire army. It was great to use. It was super fun. There were so many good combos I could do with this guy. I really wish it would come back. It really needs to. This was such a staple of the army beforehand. Like, you just couldn't really bring in the Sisters army without one. It just was so effective at rhino rushing. It just stood out from everything. So, yeah, the Repressor was great. Definitely value with that one. Alright, thanks for watching, guys. I'll try and get a Imperial Guard one done next, or maybe a Xenos one. I'll figure it out. But, thanks for watching, and I'll talk to you soon.